Hello and welcome to another episode of the JBR Play podcast. I am Jon and tonight I am with Ben.
Hello.
So, for tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about... So we earlier on, in a much earlier episode actually, we talked about zombie survival tactics and what we would do and how we would attempt to survive in that world. Safe to say it probably wouldn't go very well. But what happens if it wasn't zombies? Because zombies has kind of been done a lot now. It's a very popular topic and a lot of people have covered that. But what about other supernatural mythological creatures? If they were to plague the earth, how, like, we can discuss a couple of different ones.
Segue. Is a zombie a mythological creature?
Technically,
it is, isn't it? I never thought about that.
A ghoul is the ghoul is, and it kind of became a zombie. Yeah,
I never thought about that.
But what if it was something a lot more agile and dangerous? For example, could you imagine if there was like a werewolf apocalypse?
Well, they're natural hunters. You would be screwed.
Well, you'd be fine at daytime. It's like once or twice a month you need to be careful.
You walk around looking at everyone, like looking at their eyes. Like, have you got funky wolf eyes? You're gonna come hunt me.
Well, no, because when they're human, they'd be normal. So you kind of have a normal way of life until there's a full moon, and then it's almost like the humans would have to then, for those days, it would be like horde mode in a video game. You'd have to find somewhere to really hunker down for a couple of days.
Or wolf-proof thing.
And then, well, if they're like really big, tanky, like the werewolves in like Skyrim, for example, just big, huge ones that can just tear down objects. Have you seen Dog Soldiers?
Yeah.
Yeah, the werewolves in that, they're like, they just don't die unless you've got something silver.
I was thinking, because then the silver industry would become like a thing. You could be dealers. You get silverware, a knife and fork. Hey, come at me.
Can you imagine? Psst, hey, want to buy some cutlery?
Want to buy a spork?
Got a tablespoon right here.
Tablespoon? Get a teaspoon.
Teaspoon. Yeah, just throw it at them.
How about you?
Die! But so it would be different though, wouldn't it? Because there's different dynamics. So for example, like vampires, again, you'd be safe in the day. I think what I Am Legend was supposed to cover in the book is vampires in the book of I Am Legend, the novel.
Yeah, the original
in the film,
idea,
they're kind of more infected zombie type things, but they still kind of cover the fact they don't come out at daytime.
That's the thing, because that's the problem with all these mythological things. Because they're mythological, everyone has all their different stories and ideas. So it's like, well, which type is it? Sort of thing. Because the classic vampire, but then, can they turn to bats? Or are they like the ones from Supernatural? You have to cut their heads off.
See, I quite like that premise where it's not like the garlic or the wooden stake. It is just a good old machete to the head. And 60% of the time, it works every time. But but like, again, if you're kind of sticking to like their main weaknesses to play against, because that's what you kind of, with zombies, you've got to hit them in the head. Just go to your local Tesco's or Sainsbury's, grab a big box of garlic and just start chucking it at people.
You go down the road from here, you get a Mowgli Murg curry, and then you breathe on them.
Could you imagine a vampire's about to bite you, just go...
And
they're like, no, what are you doing?
I had curry.
Be like shoving like a smoke grenade in their face or a flashbang. Just dazing them. Garlic grenades. Can you imagine just like peeling off a piece of garlic?
Well, it is. You peel it. You take the skin and go, fire in the hole.
And you see who reacts. If someone starts flinching or going to run, they're a vampire. But it would be. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Looking at that kind of dynamics. Realistically, in the daytime, the vampires wouldn't be out, so you would be safe.
So all the super nerds that like to sit inside and play games like us would be like, "Are you a zombie? Zombie. Are you a vampire?" It's like, no, I just like playing games in the dark alone.
Don't judge me.
I'm not pale because I'm a vampire. I'm pale because I'm a gamer.
Yeah. But what, for example, it's been bothering me all day. I'm sure Medusa's the name now. It's just come to me. Lady with the snake hair.
That's Medusa, yeah.
Yes. Imagine if there were...
an army of Medusas.
Yeah. Just say there had been a couple of hundred dropped in each country. How would you survive something like that?
Or do you know the idea behind Medusa?
Yes, but now you said it, my mind's drawn a blank.
So she was, what was she? She was...
I know you get her own reflection, so you need to walk around like a mirror at all times.
Oh, no, I mean her origin. She was, was it, one of these beautiful girls sort of around, and she was compared to Aphrodite. And I think because of that, the gods got annoyed about that and cursed her and made her a monster. That's the thing, because she's still... I think it depends on where you look. For some places, she's still very pretty. She's just, if you look at her, you turn to stone.
Yeah, there's different, as you were saying earlier, there's kind of different origins, there's different, well, not origins, but there's different kind of characteristics.
It's the same premise as to what happened, but then how she look, what she do, that's all very different.
Because you would see everyone kind of carrying a mirror around with them, or you'd be wearing mirrored goggles and just hope that
snowboarding goggles.
Yeah, tinted. Just keep tinted. No, because you still see her, so you'd still get caught. But
what does he use? He uses I can't remember his name. Theseus. Did he use the mirrored shield? Was that him?
I think it was him.
I think it
Yeah.
was him, yeah.
And so something like that. That would be terrifying. One, I can't deal with snakes anyway, so just hearing one come up behind me, I wouldn't look. I'd be like, look, don't bite me with the snake. Just turn me to stone, please. Just don't let the snakes come near me.
Was she the giant snake herself?
Oh,
That's the thing.
yeah. Ugh.
Just the heads turn into her hair.
I wouldn't. Okay, you always criticize me for pronouncing this wrong, but when we used to play Ark, the
Try hard.
Titanoboas. Titanoboas.
What?
The boas, the big snakes.
Titanboa?
Titan boas. They were Titanoboas, I swear.
What's it called in time bows?
But
It's been a while. I'm pretty sure
if
it's
there
Titanboa.
was suddenly a plague of giant snakes, that kind of size, or like basilisks, for example.
A basilisk, yeah.
I mean, how would you win? Because you need.
The sword of Gryffindor.
Okay, we're not in Harry Potter world though.
Sword of metal.
Nuclear bomb.
Fire.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Because stuff like that, obviously.
Well, they're not invincible. You just shoot them.
I was going to say something like that would be a bit more
Or just
dealable.
keep stabbing them. Unless is it basilisk like the Harry Potter one? So it's got so poison blood, not poison blood. Corrosive blood.
So you don't want the blood.
So you don't want to
coming
be
over you,
stabbing
yeah.
it too much because you'll.
That's when
burn
you use long
yourself.
range, I guess, like a rifle, and you'd be able to get it.
Because we have lots of those lying around.
But it would be. Well, yeah. If you go to America, then you'd be okay.
Yeah.
But what do you think would be the scariest mythological? Okay, slightly different survival ratio. Instead of long-term survival, you're trapped in a room with a mythological creature. What do you think would be the worst creature to be trapped in a room with? A fairly sizable room. Let's say like a sports hall-sized room.
A sports hall sized room. That's not an average size. I know what you mean though. So it's quite big. It's the size of the room. I'd say what, like 50 meters, 50 meters,
Yeah, about that.
like a
yeah.
box. The worst thing, I'd say something like the Chimera because of the fact it's got lots of heads to it, and it can breathe fire, and some of them can fly.
Yeah,
and
so
different things,
yeah,
so
that's the thing.
I don't know if it
different-
actually can in like mythological lore, but I think they had them in is it Clash of the Titans or Wrath of the Titans. They had chimeras. They changed them up a bit, but they could fly. I think those ones, which inside isn't really an issue. But
if
it's
you're in
the
a big
fact it can
hall-
keep an eye on you
Yeah.
everywhere. It's like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, it's not like a Minotaur. It's an idiot. It will keep running into the wall, won't it? You just like sidestep it.
But the thing with Minotaurs is if you get hit by it once, that's
Don't get
game
hit by
over.
it.
It's easier said than done, though, isn't it? If it's a big, powerful, it's faster than you, it's stronger than you.
But what mythological creature would you not want to get hit by?
Oh no, of course, but you know what I'm saying. Well, some of them use their mind more than anything, don't
gnome.
they? Or they like lure you. God, a gnome comes alive.
Or like a house elf. Come at me.
Could you imagine being trapped in the room with the stone angels from Doctor Who?
I haven't watched it.
Do you know what the stone angels are? The weeping angels. Weeping angels. Sorry,
I
I'll
know
get
the
their name right.
name, I don't remember what they are.
So if you're looking at them, they can't move.
Yes.
But if you're looking away from them, they can move. So
That's
obviously,
what
if
they
you're
were,
trapped in the room with them, you just have to stare
Well,
at
it's
all
fine,
of them at
you
once.
sit in the corner of the room. Yeah, it's going. Hi everyone.
But eventually, you'd fall asleep.
Don't fall asleep.
You'd have to like You'd have to get a hammer and hopefully just shatter all of them before you
No,
get
you
through.
get like you cut out a face, you know, like Deadpool. He cuts out the Wolverine face. Stick
Yeah.
that to your face. Be like, I'm alive, awake even.
Ah, sneaky. But see, imagine like a Hydra, because if you chop off one head,
Ugh.
three like multiple heads will continuously keep taking its place.
What
So-
did Hercules do? He on the Disney thing, he crushed it.
In Disney, we're going on Disney now. You bring the sports all down on it in yourself. I think you'd have to focus more on the actual like going for
Well,
like
you
the
go for the body,
chest
don't
and the
you?
body,
Yeah.
yeah. Because it's not like if you chop off a leg, 3 more legs appear. It's
It's like
like,
cut your heart. Now you have 3 hearts. Like, wow.
could you imagine if everything you stabbed on it just gave more? That would be the most terrifying thing in the world. You'd be like, we shot it with a nuke,
Penis.
and now there's 50 Hydras. What? But
Oops. We tried.
that would be terrifying. What creature do you think would be a threat to modern day military, like mythological creatures?
Thinking what's like the most tankiest thing. I could
Obviously, a
take
dragon, I
beating.
think, would be. If you have to have like a big full scale dragon.
Well, it depends. Is it like a dragon with like, you know, the super scales where you can't like penetrate them very easily?
Well, I'm thinking more like the speed they fly at and the force they can hit with,
I
and
think
the
'cause
breathing
the sort
fire.
of things that, you know, the military have, you could just shoot out the sky.
Yeah,
Get a giant harpoon.
but
Pin that
again, they would have resilient skin. We're not saying it's like weak skin. They would have
I
tough
mean, like
scales.
Smaug armor.
Yeah.
That sort of
Okay,
thing.
okay. For example, that's actually a good example. So let's say if Smaug was the dragon who was attacking a military army. Do you think that they would stand a chance? I mean,
Well, no,
if he
'cause-
didn't have the injured
well,
scale,
But
because
see,
I mean,
if he has
missiles and stuff.
specifically Smaug, he has the one weakness. That's the idea. So
No, but he's not impenetrable. It's obviously by that day standards here, so like arrows and
Well, he needed the black arrow, didn't he? Is it the black arrow?
yeah, well, that,
giant
exactly. So that was,
thing.
but that would damage them normally anyway, even if that scale was there. It was just that was like a guaranteed kill going for the weakness. That's the reason they had the big black arrows in the first
I
place.
thought that's what he needed to pierce his armor skin.
Well, there was a scale missing where they hit.
Oh yeah.
And in the book, it's a bird that tells Bilbo that, hey, look,
It's a
he's got a
bird.
weakness.
Yeah.
Um,
I read the Sonnet, and it was a he was like, I'm a raven. I don't know why he was Jamaican or something. He's like, I'm not a rook, I'm a raven, and he's just like telling him like, oh, you need to go do this, man. I was like, okay, fine.
Your Jamaican accent is awful.
I don't know Jamaican accents very well. I'm going off the rook.
But yeah, like a dragon. I reckon if you had like an army of dragons, like a similar situations like Skyrim, like an army of dragons just suddenly rose up again. Something's happened before. But like, look, I don't think a modern day military would be able to do much against it, because if they were to attack hard and fast, they would be able to do so much damage to the general population before you could get an army mobilized.
I think it's called an apocalypse.
Pretty much, yeah, like Reign of Fire style
Mm.
apocalypse. Yeah, that would be
Yeah, that's a good film.
that would be terrifying. Dragons would be a very difficult thing. 'Cause, like,
Zombies are like, it's like, for example, when I play a computer game and you have like PvE versus PvP, so AI and then humans. AI are not necessarily all the time, but they're usually very predictable. You can make them do what you want. Players, you don't know what they're gonna do. Things like zombies would be like AI.
yeah, they're very
You could be
predictable.
like, yeah, you're gonna, I'm waving something at you, you're gonna come towards me. Or a dragon has its own independent brain, and it can work out its own plans and be clever and mess you up because of it.
But that's what I was saying, like a vampire, going back to the vampire idea, why vampires would be so scary, because they would be very intelligent.
And they're
And-
they can be, well, depending again which ones you're looking at. Supernatural ones, they're a hive based. They're
Yes.
a team.
Yeah.
They work in a pack.
It's like you would need a curfew.
Is that a pack of vampires?
You would need a curfew, I think, by law to keep the like a majority of the population safe. And could you imagine if you
What's
have a
the-
missed curfew?
If you have a curfew and you see them out, you'd be like, well, you're a vampire, I'm going to shoot you.
What was if you got caught out late though? Like you couldn't get home in time. Like your car broke down in the countryside.
Stay in the car.
Yeah, I think they can get through windows. Although there is
Wolverine
an old
turns
part of vampire lore which I found really interesting, which is and I know Buffy honored this part of the like mythology of vampires, is they can't come into your house unless
Oh,
you
yeah.
invite them in.
Remember that?
So what some of them do, obviously, they act very charming and very like, "Hey, how you doing?" kind of thing, and then that is my view. That's my view of charming.
Nope, not having it. Not having it.
But and then
So Joey's a vampire now.
but yeah, Joey Tribbiani, Vampire of New York. But that would make friends very different. He does care for a lot of women though.
I was just thinking, that's actually it. It's the story of the vampire.
And he's actually going after the. Oh, that's quite creepy. But it would be, like
Well, they're all vampires.
maybe.
That's why they're so close.
Yeah, they're the hive, the New York hive. But it would like. I'm just thinking of like one of our local towns. If you were to get caught out there at night by a vampire, like any big city, can you imagine being in London, for example? You wouldn't stand a chance if you were caught out at night by a group of vampires hunting you down. Unless Sam and Dean came to save you or something.
Yeah, they just happen to be
Or
in
Buffy
London.
was around. Yeah, like, you'd be pretty stuffed. Yeah, America gets all the good vampire slayers. Who do we get?
Who is there who's English?
Who is there in English? I don't think there is an English vampire. There must be in...
Van Helsing's kind of
Oh, yeah, Van Helsing, of course.
Australian. If it's
Hugh Jackman, yeah. No, Van Helsing, that's a good shout. So I really enjoy some of the Van Helsing stories you can read about. There's actually a sci-fi show which has kind of done a whole retake on the idea of kind of they've given him a new origin and made Van Helsing a female. And,
that thing you were telling me about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all modern day. It's like a modern day vampire apocalypse. Some vampires are quite savage, like Van Helsing's Dutch. Oh,
Apparently he's Dutch.
this is where we needed Rick.
Yeah.
Damn it, Rick!
I didn't know that.
And
Fair enough.
but so some of the vampires are quite savage and feral, like zombies almost like 28 Days Later zombies style, like the rage virus type thing. And others are quite intelligent. So there's like a hierarchy of vampires, which is quite interesting. So they've kind of got their cannon fodder who they just let out and unleash, kind of like a pack of dogs. But then there's the smarter, more cunning vampires who are kind of orchestrating
the alpha
everything.
vampires.
Yeah, which is quite terrifying. 'Cause you've got then like the scariest of both. You've got you kind of got like the terrifying rage monsters, and then you've got the kind of strong but intelligent and cautious, but at the same time ruthless vampires. Which, if you were to have, I can honestly see like that would be something that would just throw the world into chaos. I don't think any wall built by any political leader could save anyone from that.
Trump's like, right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a wall. It's not gonna work.
The vampires are gonna pay for it.
Well, they're that intelligent.
With the werewolves and the unicorns.
They'll have money.
Unicorn would be a nice mythological creature apocalypse, wouldn't it?
What, fighting a unicorn?
No, hopefully they wouldn't fight. If they just like came back. If
friend.
they keep saying came back, like these creatures actually existed. But if like a mass of unicorns was to appear around the world. Although that could be quite, because if they did go for you, you see loads of people just impaled on a horse's head, like galloping around town.
Well, they're kind of, yeah. I mean, they're wild creatures, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if you did provoke it, it could come at you with the horn. I mean, horses will, rear up and like kick you in the face. So instead it'd be like stab.
You never played Oblivion, really, did you? You only played it for a bit. And you weren't a fan.
Like 10 minutes.
So one thing that was really cool in Oblivion,
actually give it a half an hour,
was there were a couple of unique mounts and horses, and one of them was the unicorn. And I forget, one of my friends, he was really happy he got it, and I was over at his house, and he was doing a mission, and he got off the unicorn, and he was like, okay, you stay there, I'm going to go and do this. But obviously it's kind of tame, it was a bit unpredictable still, and he left it near the edge of a cliff. And he came back and he's like, where's it gone? And after looking around in the woods for ages, he went to the edge of the cliff and just looked down, and there's just this dead horse at the bottom of the cliff, and he's like, why? There was nothing attacking it. It literally just wandered off the cliff and died. So according to Oblivion, unicorns aren't that intelligent.
Just see, what would you want as, like, I guess your friend, or like your bodyguard, or like a protector?
Ooh,
in a world of mythological creatures, you can have one who's like your companion.
Oh, that's a good question. What's your? Do you have an answer?
Looking this guy up here. What's he called? Is it the Makai? I think he's what it's called. He's in Wrath of the Titans, and there's like a swarm of them just appears, and they're basically, they look like normal sort of humans, but they have this guy on here. You got another upper body attached to the other guy's back, so basically they can see all directions. You got 4 arms. They're bloody, blade wielding ninjas, basically.
But surely, like, for example, if a dragon came after them,
they probably just jump on the thing and rip it to pieces.
Okay.
They're tenacious little bastards.
Are they actually little though, or?
No, they're like, at least from the film point of view, I think they were like double the size of a normal man.
See, do you know what would be quite cool? Could you imagine having a giant pet Cerberus, the Hellhound, 3-headed dog? Like, no one would ever mess with you in the street or anything, unless they had like a pet dragon or.
Are there 2 versions of Cerberus? Because Cerberus, the 3-headed dog. But I played Dante's Inferno, and Cerberus was like a giant. I don't know if it's the way they did it, but it looked like a giant worm thing.
I'm pretty sure there's different. It's probably something to research, but
I think it might have been like different.
I think there's different
pantheons or something.
Yes, or different kind of cultures' views on what Cerberus is. Cerberus is from Greek mythology, I believe. So
there you go. This is the sort of thing that they did it as.
So
it's still kind of a 3-headed creature, but
it's more like of a worm type thing, or like it.
Yeah.
There you go, because that's from the animation. And sorry, we are looking at pictures on here, which is what I'm trying to work out. You can't see, but yeah, I'm guessing that's just a different interpretation of the creature.
What are those creatures from? I can't remember the races. The race in Star Wars. It's in the Old Republic. I'll try and find it.
Is it like the Sarlacc pit type?
No, they look. There's these things that look like their heads have just literally been flipped upside down. They're the weirdest things. They look like that. It was really strange.
What do you think if you could have? So you were saying it's like a friend. Cool. What if you could have like a mount, a mythological mount? I think dragon's normally the pretty obvious answer everyone goes for, but
as you're saying, a Cerberus,
a griffin or a hippogriff would be quite cool.
I don't like them.
Really? I think they're pretty cool. I would love,
flying chimera, yes, any day. You got the goat head you can hold on to so you don't fall off.
What, hold on to the horns? Please keep me safe.
Oh, look!
Is that what you want? The Cerberus? So Ben is looking at a puppy Cerberus, which
It looks like a Disney character.
I feel like I need to give you that talk about as like, Ben, a puppy isn't just for Christmas, it's for life. When that thing gets bigger, it would eat you alive.
Or be my best buddy.
What do you think?
Oh, look, I see.
Oh, I actually think I know what might be a terrifying one though as well though. Could you imagine a Kraken apocalypse? A Kraken that could come out onto the land.
Which Kraken?
So there's multiple versions again, but you know there's a version which again going back to the Clash of the Titans.
I see you think in the Clash of Titans.
That's the one that looks like it could be both amphibious and on land as well.
Yeah, well, it's walking out the water, isn't it? With its head.
So imagine if something like that, or like Godzilla scale monster, was to come and destroy the other. How could you like realistically? I think the Godzilla film proved it doesn't matter how many missiles you got, how many guns you've got, you can't kill him. Only another monster of equal force seems to be able to do that. King Kong. Well, no, that's interesting. Actually, you should say that because
not what they're doing.
So yeah, King Kong, Kong Skull Island, is connected to the Godzilla film that came out in 2014.
Yeah.
And what they're gonna do is then they're gonna do a Godzilla versus Kong film, but the dynamic they want to make it different. Kong isn't gonna be anywhere near the size of Godzilla. He's gonna be big, but he's gonna be like
he's hanging off his ankle.
I think he's like 50. I think they're saying he's like 50 to 100 foot tall, whereas Godzilla's a few hundred feet tall. So he's good. The way they describe it is kind of like how Spider-Man fights like a big villain, how he's kind of like swinging around him and stuff.
Right.
Kong's going to be using like the buildings to his advantage and like jumping from building to building to get around him and using his being more agile than Godzilla, because Godzilla's not exactly an agile creature, and using that to kind of get around and he's got he can breathe like that blue flame, plasma flame stuff as well, which is pretty cool.
That's a pretty good description. Yeah, like it.
But I think
like a Bunsen burner. That's pretty what it was.
Oh,
just so hot that it went blue.
I've just sort of more kind of so I'm reading a book at the moment called I believe it's I always get the name wrong, Yamada the Demon Hunter, and it's about it's set in ancient Japan just before the age of the samurai, and it's about a nobleman from a small poor noble family who is basically a freelance monster assassin. He goes after these Japanese mythological creatures for contracts and gets money and stuff, and he uses spirits as like he'll communicate with spirits and do deals with spirits to find out information he needs. And it's quite interesting because you've got like the ogres and demons are quite a big thing and as well. But one thing that I thought was really interesting is there were the fox spirit had a bit of a stutter there. The fox spirit was basically would transform into women, and they would lure men to them, and then some of them would just murder
evil
them.
spirits.
Well, this is the thing; it's hard to tell. Some are, some aren't, and some would lure men to them and just brutally murder them, and others would fall in love with them. And what was interesting about part of the story I was reading is they'd fall in love with these men, but then they wouldn't be able to stay with them forever because you had a random trait. They would have a random trait which would start showing of their fox, which they couldn't control randomly. So they'd be in their human form most of the time.
I have a tail.
But for example, like I think they were saying that there was a bit of a plot twist that someone else, this fox had married into this family, and the man she'd married's mother was also a fox. And she had
immortal, or not immortal, like
pretty much the spirits.
Living,
so,
sort of
yeah. And the older mother had a very easy trait to hide, so it wasn't a problem. But the one we followed for that part of the story, it was her hand was changing back into a paw, and she couldn't control it, so she knew she had to leave. And it was really interesting because it was a really like I never really didn't know much about like the fox. I knew there was some kind of form of fox mythology in Japan, but I never actually knew what it was. And this is one I'm guessing there's probably different perspectives on it, but this guy, it feels like he's really done his research into like the whole kind of concept of Japanese mythology. And one thing I really liked as well is like they pay the ghosts in bags of rice, and the ghosts get hungry and want to eat the rice. And he was talking to this one ghost for information,
brown rice,
and he was just bribing him with rice. And I thought that was quite cool. And it's got like the seals and stuff where you put like a magical seal on a sheet of paper
rice
or a scroll, and then you seal them within or you put a seal on the creature to stop it. But I really like the concept of it because this guy is a demon hunter. That's what he does. But he's also fully aware of the fact that he isn't better than any of these demons at fighting or anything like that. He's using his brain more than anything. And he knows that if he gets taken off guard for a second, he's gonna die. Like, and there's one point where these two bandits knock him out, and they're like, "Oh, we've got to deal with these ogres. We're gonna feed you to the ogres." And the guy's like, "Oh crap, I'm gonna die." And then a fox spirit saves him, and pretty much kills the other two, but leaves them just wriggling on the floor, still alive, like bleeding out slowly. And then she's like to the other guy, right, let's go. You haven't got long until the ogre gets here. And he's like, we're just going to leave them. She was like, they were going to die anyway. Like, the ogre wasn't never going to make a deal just to eat you and leave them. The ogre would kill all of you. That was their choice. So just leave them. I was like, that's cold. But it's really interesting kind of having a look at that different. Because obviously, in England, we have our own mythology. But I'd say growing up, the one we learnt about the most was probably Greek and Egyptian mythology.
Yeah, Greek's the one that most people would go to and they think it's like, yeah, you say you got the Hydra, you got the Minotaurs. What are the other big ones we knew? Cyclops.
So, yes, yeah, good point.
Again, going back, it's Disney, really. That's where most of them came from for me.
Oh, really?
Hercules. That's where I learnt where most of them were.
No, I remember loving all that stuff as a kid. And also you got Norse mythology. Obviously, like Ragnarok is the snake.
Well, I say the gods really more, isn't it?
That's more god mythology, but there are still creatures. They're like.
Oh no, I mean in terms of what we learnt when we were little and what we sort of knew of.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But God, could you imagine that if that part of mythology came true? You had a god apocalypse, where you had like the Norse gods decided they were fed up with Earth.
What Smite becomes real, the game. So just the world becomes the battleground of the gods.
Pretty much. We need Iron Man.
Get in the way.
Thor's attacking. Get Hulk and Iron Man now.
No, get Daryl, his friend. His housemate.
Oh yeah.
Come home.
That's very well done. I'm really looking forward to that. Actually, the whole gladiator fight. Between Thor and Hulk. Have you seen the animation of the animated film of Planet Hulk where that happens?
No.
It's on Netflix. It's worth a watch. It's really good.
That's what it's called, Planet Hulk.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Obviously, because the film's a Thor film, that won't be the main part of the story, but it will still be a big enough part.
We're going to set you against this mighty creature that we found. Blah 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 blah. He's going to open the gate. Hulk's going to walk out and be like, "Oh hey mate, you're right."
Here's another idea then. If we were, for example, in the Supernatural, the TV show Supernatural, that universe, how confident do you feel you would be able to survive a demon attack? Obviously, you put like
by demon attack. Like, what do you mean? Like
the basic demon, like a demon's coming after you. It's already possessed
just
someone,
one
or it's
demon?
trying to possess you. No, a few. So we'll say around 10.
10 demons on my own.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be hard because I mean, even fighting 10 humans, it would be difficult.
Yeah, no, but obviously, I mean, you've got tactics. Like demons have different rules to us. For example, like in Supernatural, for people who haven't watched it, if you have a line of salt, a demon can't cross the line of salt; they have to go around it. So if you were to trap yourself,
well, it depends how powerful they are.
Yes, but like the bog,
blow it away and make it move.
We're talking about like the bog standard demons.
The henchmen.
Yeah. So if you were to just kind of and it's demons in Supernatural that iron hurts as well. So
no, that's ghosts.
That's ghosts. Okay.
Spirits.
So if you were to obviously for demons you need salt and holy water.
Well, it's not fair because they have the demon killing knife. That's why they make it look so easy.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. and the cult obviously they don't waste on normal demons, but
yeah.
Spoiler warning for people that haven't seen Supernatural. One of my favourite moments is in season 5 when Dean goes up to to the devil and just shoots him point blank in the head with the Colt, and he thinks it's one, and Sam and Dean are kind of looking at each other like, that was easy, and then Dean just gets launched flying as he gets back up again. You're like, oh my god, yeah.
They call him it's Lucifer, isn't it? They call him in Supernatural.
Yeah. I really like how Supernatural actually deals with all kinds of mythologies as well. In a really do you remember an episode where they have all the gods run a hotel, like the gods we heard about in mythology? Like there's Odin there, some of the Hindu gods are there.
I remember that one. Yeah.
And they end up murdering all the people in the hotel. And the way they showed him on screen, I really like Odin's a biker, which I think like a typical Harley Davidson biker, which I think was a really cool interpretation of him. And some of the others, I think Buddha's like a businessman, which is quite funny. And I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed that episode. It was a really nice kind of like creative spin on things to kind of give you a different look.
It's just the idea of them sort of moving with the times, isn't it? And being like, right, now we have to adapt to this society, and now people have moved on, so now you have to be this sort of thing, blending in, I guess, isn't it? With modern day life,
modern day culture. Yeah, exactly.
So they don't walk in with a big, silver helmet and a mug of ale or whatever. Be like, oh hi,
and a hammer.
Hello, fellow citizen man. You'll address me by my real name, Odin.
What's your name, Odin? Is it really? Yes.
Yes. To be honest, that'd be quite Thor. There's gonna be a lot of Thors, a lot of Steves, a lot of Tonys.
I actually know someone. Someone was telling me that their sibling's partner, sounds very professional saying it that way. I can't remember which one it was. One of my friend's sisters, husband is a big superhero fan.
One of my friend's sister's husbands. Okay.
Yep, named their son Thor.
Why?
Why
Thor?
They're just a big fan of. They're a big fan of. Really?
I don't hate Thor.
I love.
He's just like my least
I think he's
favorite.
great. He's really. I think he's brilliant. He's good fun. I think on the screen he clicks really well with the others as well. But yeah, they named their kid that. So,
Loki.
but it's weird, isn't it? How in today's society that's not offensive to name your kid like Thor,
Goku?
Odin, or I'm trying to think of other kind of group like Poseidon. Or so, I don't know why you would call your kid Poseidon. But if you were, for example, to name them Jesus. You've crossed a line. Like you've gone too far there.
It's a name though. Like people call him stuff. Like it's there's a Spanish footballer who's called Jesus. Wait,
is there?
Is he Jesus or is his surname?
Some people get funny
I'll Google
about it.
this. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, some people get a bit funny about it, but
Let's type in Spanish Jesus. I should probably do more detail than that.
yeah,
Footballer.
what you get on the search in Spanish Jesus might be a bit different. And our survey says,
Yeah, Jesus.
oh, okay.
Navas. I can't remember how you say
But I've
that,
heard some
but
people
yeah.
get funny about it before when we talked
Or
about it. Like
Jesus, because it's an accent. Jesus.
it kind of, in a way, well, it is the same as like calling your kid God. Like, they're going to grow up with a serious ego complex.
But I'm still here. Kami, there you go.
Kami. What's
Oh
a
my
Kami? But I
My
think
child.
God Apocalypse would be the one where there's no point even working out a survival tactic
We're
because
just in
you
the way.
can't.
We're just in the way.
That's like again another fantastic film with really interesting spin on things was Cabin in the Woods.
Yes, I
Where,
really enjoyed that.
Spoilers if you haven't seen the film, because it's worth watching that film not knowing anything about it.
Yes.
Because the big plot twist in it.
Just imagine it as it's a horror film about
Surviving in the woods.
That's it.
So, spoiler warning now, you've been warned. It basically, the point where this company are actually working for the gods, and they have bets on what creatures will be triggered by these kids in the cabin in the woods to kill them. And they have to kill all the kids. They need to be specific types of kids. It needs to be the Joker, isn't it like the slut, the innocent, the jock type one.
Stereotypical high schooler kids, yeah.
And there's all kinds of difficult
The
creatures
druggie.
like zombies, mermen,
the
mermaids.
hippie, I guess.
There's like hippogriffs, hydras, snakes,
pretty
like
much everything
demons.
in there.
And then obviously when it all goes wrong, they awake the gods, and it sounds like it's like the end of the world at the end of it. Which is I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a really cool kind of twist on everything. Oh, it was great.
Well, I think it was either received really well or really badly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like people are like, this is stupid, I hate it, or it's like.
I was talking to a couple of people at the
original.
weekend about horror films, and Cabin in the Woods came up, and this one guy was like, "I hate it," and me and this other guy were like, "What?" Like, yeah, fair enough, but like we were just wondering why, and he explained why. He was like, "I can appreciate it, but I don't like it," and he was like, "I think it was just a bit too in your face, a bit too, it kind of not believable,
Too out there."
Kind of, yeah." And I was like, no, I really respect it because I just didn't see that coming. When that happened, I was like, because I was really curious. I was like, what's this organization doing? They like, I thought it was going to be more of have you seen
Like a TV show or something? They're like broadcasting this.
I didn't think it was a TV show. I thought it was going to be like the one of the Purge films, where rich people basically do that in the Purge.
Yeah.
They bet on who's going to die, how kind of thing. I thought that was going to be. It was going to be like an organization that do this, some bets with really rich clients who are quite sadistic, and they have bets on how people are going
Pick
to
your
die.
kid you want to kill.
I thought it was going to be that way. I didn't expect all the mythological creatures to be appearing and everything. I was like, wow, I really like this. It's really cool. They might not be the most accurate depictions of them, but they're still entertaining and good fun to watch.
Don't they release them all, don't they?
They release all of them. Yeah, they go down in there and just release everything.
And it starts killing all the employees.
Yeah, everything. It's standard horror film procedure, really, isn't it? Everything goes wrong.
Because it's not really a horror film in the end, is it? Really?
No, I mean, it's still got some jump. It starts off as like a survival horror, doesn't it? When things start going wrong.
Yeah, all from the beginning, it's all very, this is a horror film of kids in the woods being chased by this, it's not a monster, is he? He's a killer. I guess.
Yes, yeah. But he's kind of like an undead killer.
He's a slasher
isn't he?
hit killer,
But he's
isn't he,
been
really?
dead for a long time, and then they bring
Yeah,
him back as like a
yeah.
weird like zombie, but with a thought process.
Yeah.
Type zombie with a brain, basically.
Zombie with a brain.
Who doesn't want to
Well,
eat
they all have
people. He's
brains.
just undead.
Just one, they don't work. Yeah, but then it suddenly transitions into sort of like. Would you call it more a thriller in the end? I guess. A brain-teasing thriller. That's what I call it.
Brain teaser.
Because it is good. It's like, okay.
Picks at your brains, literally, when it rips them apart.
Lovely.
If you were, I just thought of a cool question to add on to this. If you were in an arena, kind of Planet Hulk style, we're talking like Thor and Hulk fighting, and you were against a tag team again of another human who's a pretty similar level as you, fighter, and they had a god of their choice, what would your god of choice be?
I'm against them.
Yeah.
So we both choose like
you choose a god to fight with you. So it's
buddy.
like a team, 2v2 fight, kind of like a brawling for honor.
I have to choose a god.
Yeah.
Any god.
Any god.
From any
Well, within reason, you can't just go the god. Like,
there is only one god, John. God!
He doesn't dress like that.
Not true. Oh, I'd go with someone like... Well, I like Skadi. Because she has the wolf.
Okay, let's hear a bit more about her. Do you know like much about her? Or
what do I know about Skadi? She is... well, she's not technically a god. She married a god, I think is what it was. But yeah, she has her buddy Coldor, something like that. Who is her like it's not quite a spirit wolf. It is a real wolf, but it is her like a companion for life, basically. And they're the ultimate team. And she's a hunter, basically. That's what she does. She hunts.
Because she deal, for example, like Hades, god of the underworld. Do you think?
Yeah, stick a nice spear through his head.
Yeah, but I'm sure he would be able to see that coming. And also,
that's something because she's not a full-on god. She's more a demigod, really. If anything.
See, Zeus would be pretty awesome.
Zeus is overrated.
Lightning bolts everywhere. Literally, someone runs at you, you'd be like, Zeus, get him, and you'd be like, right, just chucking
and the other
lightning
person's
bolts.
like, I chose Poseidon.
Yeah, could you imagine it? You should have played your Pokemon, buddy. I came prepared. I did my homework.
What about Kali? She's the Hindu god with all the arms and the blades and the knives.
Yeah. See,
she's a ninja.
I do remember studying Hindu gods at school, and I can't remember much about them. Who was the god? Ares, the god of war, would obviously be a good choice. Right. I know that's not a Hindu god, but there is a god of war in the Hindu religion.
Yeah, if you look at Smite, there's lots of them. It says, I've looked at it before. It's like I think there are. It said like god of war, and I was like, okay. And there was goddess of war. I'm like,
well, each religion would have had its own.
Yes. So. Bellona. She's the goddess of war, I think, for Rome.
Sounds like you're talking a load of baloney.
What? Oh, good one. What's Ares? Is he Greek?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like Egypt. Who would be the god of war in Egypt? It's not Anubis is the god of the underworld in Egypt.
The god of the underworld. You got
Ra's the god of the sun.
The god of the sun.
Ra would be quite cool actually to have.
There's a god of the undead or something. I can't remember what he's called. Let me Google this.
Let me Google my answer.
Egyptian god of undead.
Because the Egyptian gods have got a pretty cool kind of mythology about them and like
Osiris, this little guy.
Osiris, yes.
That's what I was thinking of.
But I don't know who I'd pick for that fight. Obviously Thor, like from what we know, if it was like Marvel Thor, I'd probably pick him because it seems like nothing can ruin his day. He always just gets everything. So
yeah, but he's too cocky and like he would just get his ass kicked because he does something stupid.
He starts off cocky, but that's the whole point of him, isn't it? He becomes quite humbled by the end, where he realizes the errors of his ways, that he's not he doesn't need to be a massive douche to be a ruler, basically, to be a good fighter. He can be a nice guy. You are not a bad guy, basically. Is
this is the guy I think you like. This is a Hindu god. Ravana. At least in Smite, he fights like an MMA fighter.
That's cool.
Pretty much.
Could you imagine Conor McGregor, the god of UFC?
I'm the god of Earth. Come at me.
To be fair, I would rather probably fight a few gods than him. He's quite a scary man.
I see. Yeah, you take our like the Earth's mighty. I'm Earth's mightiest warriors. Oops. And they would become like the gods of Earth or like our pantheon, fighting all the others. Ridiculous.
See, it is really interesting actually looking at all these different mythologies because they've got some really strong similarities, but also some quite big differences as well, and how each religion's kind of value different animals, and how like they become a big part of their mythology as well. Like Ragnarok, it is literally a giant snake that's eating the world. I can completely agree that snakes are the sign of the apocalypse.
Well, yeah,
because snakes are evil. Just no.
Snakes are evil. Full stop.
Exactly. I hate snakes.
What about the Titans?
Ooh. That would be interesting.
They're like the fathers of the gods, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really? Well, depending on what
But then
Again,
the
where you're
gods
looking.
obviously were more powerful because the gods combined were more powerful because they were
Combined, yeah, but you know.
Could you imagine a Titan
that's
apocalypse?
more
Again, you just couldn't.
one-on-one.
How could you survive that? You just have to wait for your turn.
Well,
day
they'll
to
just
die.
go, I'm bored of this. Punch the ground and blow up the earth or
Did
something.
he just grab a meteor out of the sky? Oh crap! And just throw it down on the planet like slam dunk style.
Saiyans. They'll come and save us.
Super Saiyan God. No, get Goku.
Yeah.
Why can't we have Goku?
Not got question.
But yeah, no. So
Oh, he's your favourite.
who's my favorite? Sun Wukong. Actually, yes, I would fight with Sun Wukong till the
Forgot
end.
about him.
He might not be the best god, but damn it, he would be the best buddy ever.
That's why I like
I changed.
Skadi.
I take everything back I said about any partners. Sun Wukong is going to be my tag team fighting buddy forever.
Or Loki. Loki's kind of cool in this.
Well, you can never trust Loki if he was on your team, though.
But why would he want to kill you? Could he killed you or betrayed you? Actually, he might be like, hey, if we like team up against my teammate, then I'll let you live.
Or he might have a bet against it, like Ben's going to totally die in like
And
2
I'm
seconds.
gonna win alone.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
He just stabs you in the back straight away. Well, guys, I think we're going to end it there. Thank you so much for listening. We really hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what. Please leave if you have any favorite mythological creatures or gods. Please leave that in the comment section below and tell us why as well. We'd love to read about it. I think it'd be really cool. And if you have any questions you'd like us to discuss in future podcasts, again, please leave them down there below. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like. We'd really appreciate it. And look, check out our channel. We've got tons of stuff. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, we'd really appreciate that as well. Until then, we'll see you next time.
We might even play some Smite one day.
We could play some Smite.
I'm terrible at it now.
I would have to be pro Sidon.
Pro Sidon. You're a terrible person. Thank
Anyway.
you for listening.
Doodles.